Stellar Guitarists, Amber here with a fun and easy lesson today. We are going to be learning the chords, the strumming, and the picking part for the iconic song Hotel California by the Eagles. Now this lesson has it all, so you are really not going to want to miss out. So let's get started. So for this version of the song, which is beginner friendly, we are going to need to put a capo onto the second fret of our guitar. And what this is going to do is it's going to eliminate us needing to play any bar chords in the song. So let's jump into looking at the chords, which we're going to be learning for the verse. So the chords are going to be up on the screen for you. So the first chord we need is an A minor chord. Next up we have an E7 chord. We then have a G major, followed by a D major. Now the next chord is usually played as a bar chord. It's our F major. But for this version of the song, I would like to encourage you, if you are a beginner, do not get deterred by this. I have another alternative for you, which is an easy F, which just needs 3 fingers. 1, 2, 3. Just make sure you're strumming from the D string down. Or you could use a hybrid version where you can use 4 fingers and you can strum from the A string down. So this is the chord shape for F that I'm going to be using in the song. We're then going to need a C major chord. D minor is next. And then lastly, we go back to that E7 chord. So as you can tell, this is a really long chord sequence. We have 8 chords in total, but the good news is that once you get the hang of those 8 chords, that is pretty much the entire chord sequence used in every single verse in the song. So you might want to pause the lesson here just for a minute or two and practice transitioning back and forth between those 8 chords in that sequence before we move on into the next section of the lesson today. All right, so now that you've got those chords under your fingers, let's chat about the strumming pattern that we're going to be using in the song. So I have 2 options for you today, a slightly easier version and then of course a more advanced version which sounds a lot more like the original. So option 1 is our easy option, and it's going to be using the strumming pattern that so many beginners know so well: down, down, up, up, down, up. And what you're going to want to do is play that strumming pattern twice on each of the chords. So the chords will be up on the screen for you again, and this is how the verse could sound using that strumming pattern twice on each chord. So starting on the A minor, we'd have down, down, up, down, up, repeats. We then switch to the E7, to the G, down, down, up, down, 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 up to the D chord. Our F chord's next, to our C, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, to D minor, and then to our E7 chord again. So that's going to work really well if you are just wanting to learn the basics of the song. Maybe you want to just jam this with a few friends or at your next dinner party, and you want to be able to sing along to the lyrics and strum your guitar with confidence, then that strumming pattern is going to work so well. So let's try verse 1 using that strumming pattern so you can see it in action. So why don't you join me on that A minor, a 1, 2, 3, 4. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, warm smell of colitas rising up through the air. Up ahead in the distance, I saw a shimmering light. So let's jump into looking at option number 2 for the strumming pattern that you can use in the song if you are a slightly more advanced player or you want to challenge yourself. So the strumming pattern is really syncopated and it's going to sound something like this on muted strings. Down, 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 up, up, down, down, up, down, up. And we're going to count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, and 4, and. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, and 4, and. So let's try that on an A minor chord. So it's going to sound like this. Down, 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 up, up, down, down, up, down, up. So just hang out there on an A minor chord. And really focus on the strumming pattern. So instead of trying to put the whole chord sequence together, all those 8 chords, and the strumming pattern, which is probably going to just confuse you and you might stumble or have these awkward pauses between your chord changes, just spend some time now focusing on getting the strumming pattern right. Down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. And once that's starting to feel a little bit more natural to you, what you can do is add a second chord. So what we can try to do now is change from A minor to our E7. So here we go, and down, 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 up, down, down, up, E7. And we try that again. A minor to E7. 2, 3, 4. Down, 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 up, down, down, up, switch. And what I want to encourage you to do here is to start adding one chord at a time as you get more and more confident. So what you can do next is you can change from your A minor to your E7 and then try and incorporate the G chord. To the G. And if that's sounding really cool and is actually quite easy for you, then you can try and incorporate the D chord next, and so on and so forth. So that's a really great way to solidify that strumming pattern as well as start solidifying that chord sequence as well. So what we're going to do next is we're going to try and play the entire chord sequence with that strumming pattern. If you can't keep up, that's completely fine. This can be more of a demonstration so you can see and hear how it's supposed to sound when you can put the whole thing together. So starting on the A minor chord, see how far you can get with keeping up with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch E7 to the G, D chord, F, to our C, down, 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 up, down, down, up, D minor, E7. Hey you guys, if you've made it this far into the lesson, then I really hope that you are enjoying what you are learning today. So if you are and you want to show your appreciation, then please could I ask you to hit that like button and to subscribe to my channel. You can also hit that notifications button, and that way YouTube will be able to notify you every time I release a new lesson. So that way you'll never miss any of my lessons that I release in the future. So thank you so much for your support. Right, let's get back into the lesson. Right, let's move on into looking at the chords we need in the chorus. So they are going to be up on the screen. As you can see, we have another long chord sequence. So this doesn't really mean you need to memorize the chords. All it means is that you just need to be aware that there isn't going to be that much repetition when it comes to these chord sequences. So we're starting on an F major chord. We're then going to be going across to a C, We have E7 next, and then to our A minor chord. And then the next set of 4 chords, we have F again, to our C, D minor, and we're ending with the E7 chord. So when it comes to the strumming pattern, you can use option 1, which is the easy beginner-friendly strumming pattern, down, down, up, down, up. And just remember to play that pattern twice on each of the chords. So the chorus could sound like this if you want to opt for using the easy strumming pattern. Starting on the F chord, a 1, 2, 3, 4. F chord to the hotel, change to the C. Such an E7 place, such an A minor face. Back to F, plenty of room at the hotel, change to the C chords. Any D minor of your, you can E7 it here. Right, and of course we can play the more advanced strumming pattern, which remember sounds like this: down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. And this is going to give us a bit more of that typical Eagles Hotel California sound. So each of the chords that you see up on the screen will get 1 round of that strumming pattern. So the chorus could also sound like this if you opt for strumming pattern number 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, 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 up, down, down, up, C. To the E7 and A minor. F chords to the C chords and the D minor. You can E7. So the next section of today's lesson is all about that iconic picking that we hear at the very start of the song. Now the real way to play this picking part starts up in the 7th fret and requires bar chords. So please do not get upset with me in the comment section. This version that I'm going to be teaching you today is a simplified version. It's going to sound very similar to the original without the headache of you needing to play bar chord shapes. So for the simplified version of the picking, we are going to be using the exact same chords in the exact same order that we learned from the verse. So up on the screen, we have the first 4 bars of the picking part. And you'll see there that we have the chord shapes, A minor, and we have an E chord shape. So instead of playing an E7, we are going to be playing an E major for the picking part. So let's look at the A minor section first. So holding the A minor chord shape, we're going to be picking the A string, the D string, the G string, and the B string. So we're really arpeggiating that chord. We're then going to go back to the G string, followed by the E string, which we're going to hold for 4 counts. 2, 3, 4. So just practice the A minor a few times over. 2, 3, 4. Because if you can play the A minor chord relatively well, it's going to stand you in good stead for the rest of the chord shapes. Next up we have the E. So we're going to be holding an E chord shape, and we're going to play the low E string, the D string, the G, and the B. We're then going to go back to the G string and play the open high E string. 2, 3, 4, which we also hold for 4 counts. So the E is going to sound like this. So let's put the A minor and the E chord together. A 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the next two chord shapes we need for the picking part are the G major and our D major. So let's go back to that G major chord. Now the strings we're going to be picking here are the same strings that we were picking for the E chord. So we have the E string, the D, the G, and the B. We then go back to the G string, and we have the high E string. Two, three, four. Our next chord is the D major, and we have something slightly different happening here. We're going to be playing the D string twice before moving on to the G string, then the B string. So we have D, D, G, B. Back to G and to E. So let's put the G and the D together. A 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next two chord shapes we need are the F and the C. Now for this specific picking part to work on the F major, we do need to make use of our F major 7 over E chord shape. So using the 3-fingered F isn't really going to work here. So we need to make sure we're playing our 4-fingered F major 7 chord. So we're going to be playing 2 A strings here, going down to our D string, to our G, all right, so we have A, D, G, back to the D string, and then we're going to have our B string. When we get to our C major chord, we're going to be playing the same strings when we played the A minor chord. So we have the A string, the D, the G, before going back to the G and the open E string. So you can really get a sense for this because the rhythm never changes. It's always ba, 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 ba. Da, 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 da. All that's changing are the chord shapes and the strings that you are going to be playing. So keep that in mind. So if we look at that whole line from the F to the C, it's going to sound like this. A 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And the final two chords that we need are the D minor to our E chord. So the D minor, the great thing here, the same strings that we played in the D chord, we're going to be playing for the D minor chord. So D minor will sound like this. And then our E chord is the same as the E chord we played at the very start of this picking part. So in total, the D minor and E will sound like this. 2, 3, 4. So what we'll do next is play through the entire picking part from beginning to end. And I'm going to set our metronome to 60 beats per minute. Now this might still be a little bit fast for you. And what you can do is go to the settings gear and slow the tempo down, slow the speed down of the video. Make it 0.75 if this is going to be a little bit too fast for you. And then as you get more comfortable and confident, you can put the speed back up to normal. So we're going to put that metronome on to 60 beats per minute, and let's give it a go. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so now that we have learned the intro picking, the verse and the chorus, let's get ready for a play along of the entire song, which is coming up next. A 1, 2, 3, 4. time you like, but you can never leave. The strumming and the picking part to the iconic song Hotel California by the Eagles. Okay. Thank you so much for watching my lesson today. If you're wanting to learn another Eagles song, then why don't you go and check out my lesson for Love Will Keep Us Alive. It's flashed up on the screen right now. So until next time, I'll see you in another lesson. Thanks so much for jamming with me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.